Hey everybody, it's Raymond, and in this video I want to talk about why I have decided to start making YouTube videos. I know in the past you've probably seen a couple of mine, and yeah, it can be kind of discouraging. It can be very taunting and very scary to try to release these videos, especially with just how many other entertainers and other people there are out there nowadays. You don't feel like you are releasing something that's worth watching. But I think, it's important maybe to talk about, instead of just why I just now started, why did I want to make videos in the first place? And I think that that's something that, the vast majority of my friends, people I know, would say, well, yeah, I'd like to have the confidence. That sounds like something I'd like to do, is make videos and reach out to the world. I mean, who wouldn't want to, have so many people see and respect what they have to say, to see their perspective. I feel like we're all having this dying voice from within. And yeah, I just spent an hour at the park just now, and with my little ripstick, kind of taking a little drove down memory lane, and I remember seeing this girl. She was screaming at me, this little girl. She's saying, "Hey!" And then she hides in her room, and I guess this kind of relates, because I felt like that when I was little. Let's paint this picture here. I was a little boy screaming out the window, not doing all the fun stuff, because, well, I don't know. I couldn't explain to you why I didn't join in. Because I was scared. And I think that that's what it was a lot of the years, is this kind of this allegory of this scared little boy. It's kind of like a metaphor, it's not just me. It's a lot of people that are saying, well, I want to do something that is new. I want to do something that makes people look at me, but at the same time I'm afraid of entering into this place where I'm the one being watched, because we all feel like we don't have much of a voice. We might feel, meaningless or small, and so why are we gonna step forward? And then sometimes when we do step forward, what we find out is, wow, all this time that I was thinking that I want to raise my voice and have people listen to me, the result that I got was just like bleh. Even if I got some people to listen to me, and even if I got things to change, did it really achieve the feeling that I was looking for, or what did it do really? It's like this feeling of having a need to the end, that I think, or having an end to all emotional struggles, is what kind of mythically feels out there, by, if I make videos, I become this beautiful person, I'm gonna have super white shiny teeth, and I'm gonna love making videos, so even the thought of doing a video won't be very scary, because, well, it will be me. It's as if these people are not even, human. But from my experience in just the last couple of days, it does take a lot of courage to release these videos, because, well, I mean, you never get it right. You just never do. Even in this video, I feel like, wow, I've already done, this is my like third or fourth take, and I've made very many mistakes in the short amount of time that it's happened, and we are so afraid of, especially with this type of performance, really, we're so afraid of not saying everything, telling the whole story as if it is like a book, like a children's book, with all the details, and leaving something out that we often just don't tell the story. And to me, that has been like my whole life. I'm not really telling any stories, and yeah, it's just, it feels like nobody's ever hearing me. Well, of course, because I'm not speaking up. If you're so worried about being right all the time, you'll never get anywhere. And if you're so worried about creating this story, this repertoire, telling the world how it is, how something goes, then you'll never make anything like that. You'll never start. And so that's what's pushed me off for so many years. But I guess that's not the only thing I want to talk about here, because there's other things going on. Okay, so first of all, let me just kind of give a little timeline. So first of all, I want to say, being afraid, even if you have the drive to and the inspiration, and you have plenty of examples of like good YouTubers that you want to listen to, if there's that scared little boy, that girl's looking at everyone else playing from the window, that feeling of I'll never be that, then that can be dissuading. But there's also other things, like the vast majority of YouTubers nowadays, they don't value the things that, if you are that person that wants to step up and just be part of something, they don't value the same things that you must value if you want those things. And I think that, that's true in more capacities than just making YouTube videos. Like if you want to apply for a job, if you want to join a social group or something, you have to create that first start, and you can't be so concerned with making the most efficient use of your time or money or whatever, because if you do that, then you'll just be so dissuaded because everyone else has already started working on that stuff. So being scared, feeling like, whatever you do, it won't have an impact anywhere whatsoever. And even if you end up making videos for a year and nobody's paying attention, feeling like it's time to give up. The thing about this, though, is that YouTube has changed. I mean, if you look at it when it was back in like 2006, obviously when it starts, people were posting things up about, their family. They're posting family videos, someone skiing for the first time, and those were what was the most popular. You fast forward a little bit and you get some like vloggers, and this is where these people entered into my life, and I was so ready to just tell the world what I could never say at school or in my normal daily life, because I felt so bound by the context I was living in. And you have these people that are just so interesting. They come from all sorts of different places. Maybe they're blogging from around the world. Maybe they're skateboarders. Maybe they're, just things that you don't feel like you have access to in your own identity. And you're just mesmerized by these, and you watch more and more, and you feel like, wow, I want to explore. I feel so confined now. I feel so very confined. But that quickly changed. That inspiration, that call to do something, that quickly changed. And videos started to become monetized. They started to have advertisements because these people who were making, not necessarily high quality camera vlogs, they were making plenty of views. They were getting a lot of views, so advertisers came in the picture. And not only did this become a question about how much people liked you because of some cultural, social ideas of what we want to watch. You can't just produce a video anymore that you have, decent camera qualities and adequate skills to make a video. But your video has to be competitive for views. And it's weird because you can think of many different approaches to the values you can have if you want to make a video, right? You can tell yourself, okay, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to make millions of dollars someday. Like, freaking video gamers that are on YouTube nowadays, or makeup vloggers. You can say that, you can say, oh, I just want to be popular in my school. I'm making YouTube videos and I'm sharing it around my school, so I want to be popular. Or, I want to access communities that I don't really have access to already. And I want people to see my video who I don't have access to in my current lifestyle. But during that time, from like 2009 to 2018, there's this push of values to now, this push of values as corporations have come in to from something that, where people who were just simply likable would get views and would get, I guess the values were there, that's the reason why people made YouTube videos. It became corporatized, and so people not only had to professionalize their setups, having lights, having high quality cameras, having better looks that people want to see on YouTube. It really ruined that. It ruined that for me, because the whole point of YouTube that was once before was to access these communities, to create this life that wasn't there for you. It was more on this human rights, like we should all have the right to be able to escape a little and be something where that's different than who we could be already, like if you're a gay kid and you're in a family that's super conservative and you're in a town that's super conservative, maybe that was the only access to a community you had, and people weren't worried about that. And I mean, you see a little bit of a combination of those values now, and honestly, if anything, it's been these kind of sad stories, or this lack of access to communities, doing things that are not normally, that are not normed. That's like a niche market on YouTube. But at the very end of the day, there's still this nihilism in me that even if I were to make videos and become something and reach someone, that I don't have an answer to all my problems just from YouTube videos. I'm still that girl in the window who, looking out, it's like things are always greener on the other side. I feel like there's something that other people have in their identity that I don't, and that just kills me often. And and I know you'll never have access to other people's perceptions of the world. You can't pretend to even be in the minds, in the world of other people, because we just never have that. We have representations of things on TV and on YouTube and everything, and these representations have now more than anything else become about drawing some sort of cultural capital, or as many views as possible, so that they can get money from advertisers. And this doesn't respect things like not everyone has access to professional quality cameras. Not everyone has that stuff. Only people who invest, and especially those people who invest lots of money to begin with into YouTube, really draw in more views. Welcome to the real world, Raymond. you know. That's what it feels like, feels over time things get gentrified. People who have money, people who have more access, just end up having a leg up because they are able to make a market out of, making sure that those that have that stuff can retain it. And that's okay. I don't think that YouTube is necessarily something, when it came about, it wasn't about fixing the world's problem. But there is one thing that I think it can do for me. And that is to help me to get over this dying jealousy, I almost can't even move on with my life sometimes. This dying need to feel like I have a following, I saw the the myth of the cool kids, right? The ones who had everything figured out in high school, and the myth of those people, the actors and stuff, how they just have everything figured out. They're just cool and that kind of stuff. That felt like it was only accessible to some, and it kind of is. If you have more money, then you're able to afford to take better care of yourself in every way. And if you have more money and you have the value and you realize the importance of taking care of yourself, then you can, maintain that and garner people being interested in your story. And I don't think that that's necessarily, the defining thing anymore. You don't necessarily have to have money to do stuff. It doesn't matter what my views are. I just kind of wanted this space where I could meditate a little bit, where I could explore parts of me that really don't exist because I've only been limited to who I am. And I wanted this for a long time. So, definitely I think it's important to look at this from the angle of the scared boy, this idea that there's people are living better lives by having a following. Is it true? I don't know. Is it true that just because they have more money, more friends, more social capital, that they're happier? I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily true. But there's definitely asymmetry in access for sure. And I felt like I haven't been able to perform. That sounds funny. I haven't been able to have access to performance for many parts of my life because of just a number of things that got in the way. Let's just use our imaginations here. Imagine you're the relative of someone who is already famous. Well, yeah, you can get access to being in movies, being represented in film just by the people you know. There's definitely not the same access. It's a political thing, if anything. And then YouTube came about to fix that, and then the advertisements, a neoliberal system, kind of came by and ruined the sentiment, and now all we're left with is this nihilist, well, it doesn't matter what I make on YouTube, because even if I did have millions of views, there are billions, maybe trillions of views in a day, in a month time of videos in general. And whatever I do, it's literally a drop in the bucket. So I just feel like, you know what? I don't care. I don't even care that I'm making this video a little bit longer, because not everything is about anymore making everything the prettiest for everyone else to view. Sometimes it's just about getting like your first draft out there. And it makes me question, like, how much do people actually know when they're presenting these like finalized versions of so many conversations in YouTube, when the truth is there's so much that's just unknown. I didn't know, being the kid in the window, being the scared little boy. But I do know that the only way that I can even try to explore this stuff before I get deterred by the fact that I'll see videos of others doing things that are far more interesting than I will ever do. Or at least that's definitely what will end up being told to myself, because I realize what lifestyle I'm in. And nobody really comes to that point where they say, well, okay, if I want to do this, these are the things that I have to do to make that happen, because it doesn't really work like that from my experience, where you feel like, okay, I'm going to invest a lot into, let's say, making music videos or whatever, right? I want to make a cappella music videos. I want to achieve a certain effect. Nobody really has a plan with that I understand. And maybe if they do, then I just don't know what I'm talking about. But I've been singing since I was a little kid. And I've been doing things and exploring since I was a little kid, but I was never the person that ended up on the news, never the person that ended up in the yearbook, never the person, fill in the blank, that other people admired in the institutions, in writing, somewhere, because of some trait that I showed. And I figure, you know what? All of these representations are often, just so biased, and they're so inaccurate. Of course, any magazine you read is going to say the prettiest model of the year, as according to who and what, is X, according to, the editors, is this person. But they haven't even seen all the people in the world. So I guess I really just am tired of that. I'm tired of that mumble, that daily little mumble, that feeling that whatever I do, it'll never be good enough. Because I'm ready to accept that as fact, rather than just something to get hurt about. I'm not going to make the videos that other people make, because I don't have the stuff that they have. Now I could invest in it, but there's no guarantees. And, maybe that's rightfully what separates those that become famous and those that get listened to, is that they invest in those materials. But I would suggest that, no, it's a little more complicated than that. And that might be something that I have to do in a future discussion. But to keep it a little bit short, I just wanted to say, I think I decided I wanted to make YouTube videos because I felt like I had a voice. I had opinions, critical things about the world that no one ever heard. No one ever heard my perspective. My thoughts were radical, perhaps progressive, perhaps so far to the left that just the vast majority of people were put off by me. And they were crazy. They were maybe crazy to think that I was going to value or do the things that I do. And a lot of the things we do in the world, we're asking for other people's permission. We're asking for other people's, acceptance, their investment, whether or not they like what we do. And I don't think that I can do that anymore. Just flat out. I don't think that I I don't fit any any fucking mold. So, um, yeah, that's where I am. So if you guys like this video and you want to see more, just let me know. I know it was very slow paced. I haven't edited any videos yet. I might consider doing that in the future. In my current lifestyle, it's not really much of an option. I'm not like making money or a career off of YouTube. I'm doing this as a sort of meditation just to get me through day without thinking all the things that those that are in power want us to think about our ability to move. And so if you like this video, just like and hit the subscribe button. Alright, thank you.